This is where the intro joke would go.
If I had one!
School of Beards, Chapter 24, The Great American Prom. Wow, who remembers their prom? Show of hands? I totally don't. I was way too cool for that. They were all just a bunch of rats racing towards the grave. It's been a while since I posted one of these. Yeah, it's been a while since I read one of these, as a matter of fact. Last one, April 25th, so all of May. I just had it on the back burner. If you did miss any of the previous parts, those links in the description, as usual. Honestly, we've reached the part of the year now that standardized testing is in full swing, and we are close enough to summer that even the beards are exhausted. Yeah, just give up halfway through the school year, it's fine. We're close enough, aren't we? Get out of here. There's a lot of everyone just staying in their classrooms and not really engaging. I mean, I guess that's fine, but are the children suffering is what I really want to know. It is a really interesting mindset for everyone this time of year. Anyway, let's just get right into it. 1. Media Beard versus Dance Mom Karen. Honestly, we don't cover Karens that much on this channel. They're just like always the most uninteresting one-dimensional people. On this day, I was doing what I do almost every day. I arrived to work and went to my cave. I sat at my computer and got to work. That's eerily similar to what I do. I was deeply engaged in planning a lesson and listening to music when I was jarred out of my thoughts by a knock on the door behind me. I turned to look and I saw Media Beard. I sighed and paused my music. I really wasn't in the mood, but okay. I opened the door. Social contract says you have to. Good morning, Media Beard. What can I do for you? I asked in my normal bubbly tone.
Good morning, Manny. Do you have a minute?
Media Beard asked. I nodded and let him in the room and shut the door. Of course. What's up? You're so cordial.
I'm getting ready to give the certification test, and I know you already did them. Can you help me with setting up the program? I'm having some trouble,
Media Beard said. I fought back my initial reaction of confusion. Media Beard had been teaching a certified class for longer than I had. This was my first year in this content area. How did I know more than him about the certification? Besides, he had been in the training with me. I was so confused, but I didn't show it. I just nodded. Of course. Let me know when's a good time and I'll pop by. Another case of a neckbeard's ego being outpaced by their own laziness. This is a fascinating transition. We saw it in Westbeard, now we're seeing it right here? God damn! Media Beard nodded.
Thanks so much, OP. Also, I wanted to give you a heads up.
Oh? About what? I asked. Media Beard let out a deep sigh.
I'm under investigation.
What the hell are you talking about? I blinked. Not this again. What? Why? Media Beard shrugged.
I'm not sure. I just know they've been calling my students out one by one and interviewing them. I think they're coming for me, Mandy. I hate it. I love it here. I don't want to go.
Dude, alright, I'm gonna let you finish, but my mind is immediately jumping to the worst possible thing. Just so you know. I tried to think about how to handle this. If he had done something, I didn't want to show support, but if he hadn't, then yeah, this was a terrible situation to be in. You really have no idea what it could be? I finally asked. Media Beard shook his head.
No, I don't. Unless it was this one thing, but that was weeks ago.
Let me tell you, if you remember, they remember. I tilted my head. What thing?
A student brought alcohol into my class a few weeks ago. I was covering 2 classes at the time, so all I could really do was dump it out and handle it later.
Did you dump it into your own mouth? Yeah, that sounds good. A stiff drink.
But the student confessed and they handled him. Like I said, it was weeks ago.
Beard explained. I nodded. Something like that, I would expect them to be all over straight away, if it were that. And if it's been handled, then I'm sure it's something else. I did wonder how dumping was all he could do. It's not all he could do. He had a little wink and a nod. He's like, I'm the cool teacher. Remember, kids. OP elaborates, we all have phones in our room. Why the hell wouldn't he have just called admin? Oh well, that was a bit above my pay grade.
Yeah, so I got no idea.
Beard shrugged. Well, I'm really sorry you're dealing with this, but if you need to talk, I'm here, I said.
I do appreciate that, but hey, let's talk about you. You're killing it in here,
Beard said. I wish I was dead. What? I smiled. I'm certainly trying. I hope I am.
You are. The kids that we share, I hear them. They're excited about this class. And all your students passed both certifications. You're awesome,
Beard said. Yeah, kind of crazy what happens when you do your job right. I don't know, man. It hurts me that you had to tell him, like, hey, I'm still here if you need to talk, and he wants to buddy up to you and stuff like that. What is a socially acceptable way to draw a line in the sand between coworkers, aside from just explaining to them that they are coworkers, nothing more? Anyway, OP says, oh, I appreciate that. Well, like I said, if you need my help, let me know. But probably don't, hopefully. The next day, I did go to his room, and I helped him. I was absolutely flabbergasted at the level of help that he needed. How was he teaching AV when he couldn't even figure out the most basic testing program? Being tech savvy was seemingly part of the job. At least, I should think so. I mean, you're talking like hardware versus software. You could be good at one and not the other. I'll allow it. Speaking of tech savvy, a couple days later, I was sitting back in my cave when Beetle texted me. Love, my projector isn't projecting again, he said. On my way, I replied as I grabbed my keys and headed across the school. Y'all still using projectors? Or is it like a fancy projector now? Something like the overhead projectors with the light and the glass? Anyway, I digress. I spent a few minutes in Beetle's room, figuring out the problem, and got his projector working again. It was a loose cable. Although, I do think the port on the wall is going out. Alright, then let's get Beard to fix it. Back up my hardware versus software claim, or debunk it right now. I know he's not gonna be able to do it. He's just bad at everything. He doesn't want to put effort into anything. Anyway, on my way back to my cave, I had to pass by Beard's room. I decided since I had time, I would go in and check on him. Why the hell would you do that? Alright, man, it's your life, you know? I turned and went into his room. Good morning, Beard. I just wanted to come check on you and see how you're doing, I said.
Much better,
he said with a smile. Is the investigation over? I asked.
No, but I know what triggered it now,
he said. Oh, do tell. I guess this is OP's reason for stopping in, isn't it? Gotta go spill some tea. Beard chuckled.
Evidently it was a dance, Mom. She submitted a complaint. The dance show last week, I was backstage working, mind you, and there are male dancers, but the mom complained that there was a man back there.
Oh, and that makes her a Karen? You saw my underage daughter in a state of undress? I think you're lucky you didn't get the shit kicked out of you. I blinked as I tried to process what he had just said. Wait, a mom was upset that you were backstage, but you were working. As in, admin knew that you were there. He nodded.
Yep.
So the investigation is over, right? Because that's ridiculous. Admin has to know that, I said. Again, OP, we disagree. She might be making a mountain out of a molehill, but I know if it was my daughter, I mean, I've done exactly that before. Beard shook his head.
No, the investigation's ongoing, but at least I'm not worried. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not concerned about the outcome.
Maybe he legitimately didn't. Maybe there was no costume change. I just don't know, man. Comment section, help me out, please. OP continues, wow. I can't believe that admin would... Oh, wait. Yeah, I can.
Well, they aren't coming for me anyway,
He said. It's still unfortunate that they don't have your back. I'm glad you're feeling better, though, I said.
Thanks. And thank you for coming to check on me.
Beard smiled. I nodded. Anytime. Man, I am once again conflicted about this situation. With that, I turned and left the room. I was so upset that admin would do this, but truly not surprised. I am curious if Beard will be back next year. After this year, I'm not so sure that he's wrong about them coming for him. But also, he needs to make better choices, and maybe not form friendships with the students. Just my thoughts on the matter. Oh, he was just going backstage to visit his girlfriend. Probably shouldn't joke about that. It happens like way too much these days, doesn't it? I just don't know. Anyway, second story, prom night. Prom isn't a thing in Australia. We do have a formal, but it's completely different than the American proms. Yeah, we got prom and formal. And I think it's like winter formal, spring formal. Fall formal? I really don't remember. I like to keep it casual. Like I said, way too cool for all that. That said, I was very excited to attend my first prom, even as a chaperone. The night of the prom, I got dressed while Beetle did Wee One's hair. I had a beautiful green gown that I'd been saving for the event. Beetle was in a nice formal suit that was black with red accents, and Wee One had an absolutely beautiful floral dress that made her look like a princess. I really hate to make this comparison, but the outfit description is just giving me flashbacks to my immortal right now. I think it was just the black with red accents that got me. My brain just tripped. I could never unsee it. Anyways, we were all prom ready, and I think I may have been more excited about it than even Wee One was. Wrestler arrived in a beautiful black dress, and I did the mom thing and took a ton of pictures of Wee One and Wrestler, and then Beetle and I were on our way. My mom drove the girls because Beetle and I had to be there early to get set up. Grandma coming in clutch, as always. As Beetle and I arrived at the 5-star hotel where the prom was being held, I felt like a celebrity. It was nice because even though we were working, Beetle and I could also be more of a couple than we were usually allowed to be at work. I took his arm and he led me into the ballroom. Everything was breathtaking. The prom sponsor asked us to finish setting up some centerpieces, and we were happy to do so. Oh, so this is where the budget for the whole year went. Got it. Beetle and I parted ways to cover the tables faster. I was almost done with my set when I heard Beetle's voice. Bloody hell. Love, come here. I finished the table I was working on and went over. He was just pointing to a bar set up in the middle of the room, covered by candy. I looked at him.
I've heard of candy bars, but I've never been to one,
Beetle said, mimicking Manny beard. Now you have. My eyes widened and I started cracking up. No way. It is a literal candy bar. I love it. And it was. The bar was covered with dishes of various candies and bags for the students to fill. Should have gotten the whole 9 with the bar theme, you know? Students could take like little shot glasses and fill them with M&Ms. Then they all start sniffing the fun dip, yeah. Who hasn't been there before? Beetle and I cracked up for several minutes before we agreed this only partly redeemed Mannybeard's idiocy, and we moved along with our work. I bet Mannybeard's the one that made all this happen, you know? I bet he really is Willy Wonka secretly. There's a lot of lore here. What Beetle and I had actually signed up for was to check students in. Once we were done with last-minute ballroom setup, we set up our laptops at the check-in table in the lobby and went to the staff room to get some food. Yeah, they actually catered the staff room with some delicious food. We even had our own tables. It was kind of like a small little staff prom, which I loved. I was just soaking in every bit of this experience. I had no idea what to expect from a prom, but I was enjoying it so far. I bet it is fun, but I'm just like watching the school budget slip away. Now, you would expect that just checking in students, I wouldn't see much action, but you would be wrong. Beetle and I had seats next to each other, so even though we were working, we got to spend prom night together. Wee One and Wrestler were the first students to arrive. We checked them in and sent them on their way. And for the most part, that was how things went. We checked in students, confirmed their identity, gave them a wristband, and sent them on their way. Sounds kind of legit. It's like Papers, Please in real life. You should tell all the students, welcome to our Stutska.
Glory to our Stotska. Papers, please.
I expected to see a lot of fedoras, but surprisingly, I did not. I did see a lot of cowboy hats. I chalk that up to living in the southern United States. I actually saw relatively few questionable fashion choices, although there were a couple. I also didn't have any issue with any odorific students. Turns out that when they want to, teenagers clean up pretty nicely.
All right, I'll wash my balls, but only if I get laid after this.
I had some questionable fashion choices when I went to dances. I like to wear a powder blue zoot suit. It's not a joke. Maybe my mom has a picture somewhere. The first actual incident of the night came when 3 neckbeard students wandered in. Let's call them Lenny, Squiggy, and Iggy. Iggy went to Beetle to check in, and Lenny and Squiggy came to me. I checked in the 2 that I had, but Beetle was unable to find Iggy in the system. Love, I can't find him in here, Beetle said. What's your name? I asked the student, so I could start looking to see if Beetle was just missing him.
Iggy. I'm his guest,
Iggy said, pointing to Lenny. No, Squiggy is Lenny's guest. I'm pretty sure we can only allow 1 guest, I said.
He bought a ticket,
Lenny said. Okay, well, I can look that up. Iggy, do you have a student ID number? I asked. Iggy shook his head.
I'm not a student anymore. I graduated last year.
I sighed. Okay, then he would be a guest, and you already have a guest. Beetle turned and flagged down number 1, who was standing fairly close.
What's going on?
Number 1 asked, and I explained the situation.
I'm sorry, it's 1 guest per student.
Number 1 confirmed.
But he bought a ticket, and he's a former student. Just let him in,
Lenny demanded.
I'm sorry, if we do that for you, then we have to allow everyone to have multiple guests. You can pick 1 guest, the other has to go,
Number 1 said.
But I used to be a student,
Iggy argued. And as this argument was happening right in front of the table that Beetle and I shared, it put us out of commission, and students were going to the other 2 tables that they had for check-in. Number 1 waved Mr. Principal over at this point. He walked over, and number 1 filled him in on the situation. No, 1 guest per student, Mr. Principal confirmed. The 3 beards continued to argue with him in spite of being told in every possible way that only 1 guest could go in. I was tired of this. The line was starting to back up. Can you lot move this conversation so I could check in more students? I asked Lenny.
Oh, we're blocking the table. Sorry, ma'am,
Lenny said as everyone stepped away from the table. I got back to work, but I also kept checking on the situation out of the corner of my eye. Eventually, it appeared, after arguing with Mr. Principal and number 1 for a good 20 minutes, that they left. Well, that was anticlimactic. Are they gonna come back with super soakers filled with pee-pee or something? That's what I really want to happen. Yeah, it turns out they didn't leave. I had no idea how they managed, but the 3 of them snuck into the ballroom. Pretty easy, honestly. Pick any exit that isn't like the main door, and you'll probably be able to go in. Security's not that tight. I knew this because sometime later, we saw both our campus officer and hotel security escorting the 3 little beards out and hearing them arguing the whole way out of the lobby. There are some vague notes here of Sir Sam sneaking into a charity event. I do remember. Around this time, I saw Media Beard. He was circulating and taking pictures for AV class. Nice to see he dressed up for the event, I said sarcastically. He was wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Basically what he normally wore to work. Beetle looked.
Oh, wow. He didn't even try.
The ludicrous part is that you expected him to try. Do we not know him by now? At least you clean up nice, I smiled as I touched his face. Aw, saccharine. I wish I could say that that was the most eventful moment of the night, but alas, 15 minutes until we were closing entry into the dance, a girl walked up to me to get checked in. She looked a little green around the gills, but given that it is allergy season, I didn't pay too much mind to it. I should have, though. I put her wristband on and she turned to walk in. Thank the gods she turned when she did, because literally 1 second later, she started projectile vomiting across the lobby. Yeah! This is the gross part. That's what we like. Drinking some Captain Mo in the parking lot right before prom. She knows how to party. I was a second away from being puked on. The girl continued to vomit before making her way to the restrooms behind the check-in tables. AP Beard and the campus officer went in behind her. When she came out of the restroom, she was taken to the staff room.
Someone pre-gamed too hard,
Beetle whispered to me. I really hope she took a ride share here. She came in alone, I said. That is concerning, dude. Maybe this is Amanda from a parallel universe. She's like, I'm gonna get super drunk and have so much fun. I'm gonna show everybody. Yeah, that shut Beetle and me down for the rest of the night. While we waited for the janitor to come clean up the puke in front of our table, our shift ended. Did they still use the sawdust in the bucket? That's the best way to clean up puke. Some things never change. Beetle and I retreated to the staff room to get some food. It appeared they were going to let Puke Girl go on into the dance. I seriously hoped that she had a ride home. Yeah, probably keep an eye on that one. By the time Beetle and I ate our fill of food and headed to the ballroom, Wee One and Wrestler were waiting for us. Wee One had a great time, but was also painfully exhausted. I wanted to experience prom, if only for a moment. So Beetle took me to the ballroom, and I took it in. It was just like the American teen movie proms. I loved it. It was so pretty and fun. I turned and saw Beetle at the candy bar snagging us some sweets. I laughed, and once he filled a bag for us, we got the girls and headed out. I know this story was limited on beardery, but my first American prom was just so much fun that I had to share it. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. It is mostly like the movies. Although it didn't start that way. We used to have little tiny proms, and then the movies said that the prom should be bigger, so American high schools tried to keep up, and whoops, there goes the budget, like I said before. I was also glad that somebody vomited. That's really what the channel's all about. You gotta trauma bond a little bit. 3, Beetle versus Manny Beard. We're taking bets. You could lose some money real fast. On this particular day, Manny Beard was going to be absent. Oh, well, he's to win if he's not there. Normally this would thrill Beetle, but he was actually jealous. Somehow Manny Beard had gotten tickets to see Taylor Swift, and Beetle is a huge Taylor Swift fan. I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy how much disposable income you have when you don't have a family, isn't it? Personally, I find her to be extremely overrated, but that said, I did try really hard to get Beetle tickets. It is just really hard to get tickets to her show. I would have suffered through it for Beetle, but it was simply not to be. Manny Beard paid a crazy high dollar amount to get himself tickets. Unlike Beetle, he is single. See, yeah, this is exactly my first thought. No wife or child to provide for, and no house to save a down payment for. That's alright, he's gonna go there, sweep Tay-Tay off her feet, and move into the mansion. Until they break up 6 months later, he gets an album wrote about him. It is my sincerest hope that Beetle is glad he has me over Taylor Swift tickets, but really, I can't be 100% sure of that. Well, another time, another life, I suppose. Anyway, so Beetle gets to work and turns on his computer, and there's an email from Manny. The subject is lesson plans, and the body is print out my lessons and give them to my sub. Beetle reread it. No please, no would you mind, just a demand. Beetle promptly forwarded the email to our campus sub-coordinator and deleted it. He was not about to let Mannybeard treat him like his personal assistant. Might be petty, but yeah, a little common courtesy goes a long way, doesn't it? It was this that made Beetle finally lose his patience with Mannybeard. Was it the act of making a demand of him? Was it the jealousy of his Taylor Swift tickets? Who can really say? I can. But what I can say is that Beetle was not about to take it lying down. Again, pretty easy when Mannybeard is in absentia, but baby steps, I guess. I listened to him rant the whole way home about Mannybeard, treating him like his assistant, and the nerve of that guy. Love, I think it's time you and Mannybeard clear the air. Like, seriously, I said.
Oh, I'm having a talk with him. This is not okay, Beetle insisted.
Does it actually happen? Taking bets. You can lose some money real easy. I nodded, not actually expecting much. Beetle never actually ended up speaking up. I knew it. Oh, God. Come on now. Although, to his credit, he did talk to District about Pastor Beard, but as long as admin is protecting him, nothing's gonna be done. We are just stuck with him. Well, that's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? When Mannybeard returned to work a couple of days later, Beetle was still fuming. Before school, he noticed Mannybeard was in his room, so Beetle popped across the hall to see him.
We need to talk,
Beetle said firmly. Oh my God, I have pictures from the concert. It was so awesome, Beetle. You would have loved it. Mannybeard started.
That's great, but it's not what we need to discuss,
Beetle said. Mannybeard pulled out his phone. You have to see these pictures I took.
Mannybeard, stop. What you did was not cool.
Oh, he does have the conversation. Good for you.
If you need me to print something for you in the future, you need to ask me, not command me. I'm not your employee. I'm not your assistant. I'm a colleague, and I don't mind helping you out, but you need to ask, not demand, Beetle said.
Mannybeard looked at him. I just needed my subplants printed.
Yeah, and you commanded me to print them. But you could have said, hey, would you mind printing these out for me? But you didn't, Beetle said.
I fail to see the issue, Mannybeard said. Yeah, I know you do, Mannybeard. I know you do.
The issue is that I'm not your assistant. I'm a teacher with my own duties and responsibilities, and I deserve to be treated with respect, Beetle said. It's not my job to do things for you.
But you work in my classroom, Mannybeard said, clearly confused as to why Beetle was upset. Does that mean that Mannybeard actually thinks Beetle is his employee? Wow, my first year here and they gave me a subordinate. I must be extra special.
Beetle says, as an inclusion teacher for half a period per day, I'm not in there to help you. I'm in there to support the students. Stop treating me like I'm there for you.
You're in there either way. Why does it matter who you're helping, me or the students? Mannybeard asked. You really are just thick as a brick, ain't you? Come on, put it together, boy. I know it's slow going up there, but just concentrate on it real hard. Beetle was getting exasperated, which I think is Mannybeard's plan of attack here. I'm not completely sure what he was hoping to accomplish here. If he thought it would be a case where Manny would offer a simple apology and move on, well, that wasn't very likely to happen. Yes, egos do seem to fly, don't they?
Mannybeard, let me put it to you this way. I'm not in that room because you are there. I'm in that room because that is where specific students happen to be. If those students were moved to Amy's class, I would move with them. I'm only there to support students. I'm not a co-teacher, assistant teacher, or any kind of aide to you. I'm there because you have students that happen to have a legally mandated inclusion minute in the subject of English. That's why I'm in there. That's the only reason I'm in there. Is that clear?
Mannybeard blinked. Okay, so you have to see these pictures from the concert. Perfect. I wouldn't expect anything less. Beetle was about to lose it. But Beetle also loves his job, generally, and so he did the only thing that he could do at this point. No, I need to go prepare my classroom for the day. See you in class. And with that, Beetle walked out and returned to his room. Well, I mean, you tried, but it is like talking to a wall.
Something else is bothering me. Last week nobody helped Obama.
So yes, Beetle finally confronted Mannybeard, only for Mannybeard to be so bloody dense that he didn't even realize it. And I think it was in that moment that Beetle's faith in humanity died just a little bit more. Oh, come on, we're not letting Mannybeard be the representative, are we? God's sake. And that is where I will leave you today, dear reader. I suspect I might have 1 or 2 more stories before the end of the school year, but as I said, everyone is exhausted and the beards are even keeping to themselves more. You can feel the exhaustion in the hallways of Standard High and feel the stress of standardized tests. I do thank you for reading/listening to this, and I thank ReddX for continuing along this strange path that is my life. Show some love and like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, you know what to do. Until the next time. Yeah, do all those things what she said. I don't know what you're looking at me for. We're gonna do one more story. These are really beefy. And then we're gonna do Patreon singing at the end, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. With all that said, let's get into it. School of Beards 25. The final countdown. Hello, ReddX and crew. Hi again. Emerald Aussie back with another tale from Standard High. This is the second to the last installment from this year. Oh, it just flies by, doesn't it? When I started writing, I kind of planned on this being the last one, but alas, Mathbeard had to start bearding, and yeah, there's gonna be at least one more after this. And then we'll take a summer break, and maybe, if the demand is there, we could pick it back up in the fall. Again, comment section, please let me know if you'd like to see it continue. So, let's not waste any more time, and we will jump right in to this set of stories. 1. Goodbye, Mannybeard? No, say it ain't so. Honestly, he's my favorite little derp. He makes this whole thing happen. Okay, I admit that I sort of caused this story to happen. What? With state testing happening and everyone just bloody exhausted as the year was winding down, the well was running dry on beard interactions, aside from the random encounter with Mathbeard, who seems afraid of me now for some weird reason, or a beardy morning greeting from Englishbeard. Somehow he manages to park next to us almost every day. Well, that's an easy fix. You just start banging his car door every time you get out. It had also become painfully clear that there was nothing that could be done about Pastor Beard, so Beetle and I were just doing our best to stay away from that whole situation. When a chance presented itself to engage with Mannybeard, I decided to lean into it instead of running away from it. He is a fan favorite, it's true, and I knew if I had a conversation with him, I would get something to write about, and Manny did not disappoint, although it wasn't exactly what I expected. On this day, Beetle was home after getting hurt the previous day. See next story. Oh, okay, it is your cliffhanger for next time. So I was flying solo. I was headed down the stairs to go to bus duty when I saw Mannybeard holding the door for students. This is a little odd because the bell had yet to ring, and so all of these students were skipping. Yeah, but Mannybeard's the cool teacher. But it was Friday, and the bell would ring in 5 minutes, so whatever. It was too late in the year for me to really care anymore. At least you're honest about it. What was even stranger was that Manny continued to hold the door well after it was clear. I stood back and looked at him, and then I went through the door. It was extremely windy that day. We were under a wind advisory. I paused to look around when I got outside, and here is where I made my choice to engage with Manny. What are you doing? I asked, as I watched Manny fighting to hold the door open as if it was the heaviest thing in the world. I mean, I've seen Manny. He looks like a scarecrow, okay? For him, it probably is. I don't want the wind to slam the door shut, he said. I bit my lip. This door had an arm on it that controlled how fast it closed, even in windy conditions. I just stared at him. No, I'm not gonna explain the intricacies of a pneumatic tube to Manny Beard, okay? It's fine. He slowly let go of the door and watched it shut. Oh, it didn't slam. No, Manny Beard. It has that arm up there that controls that, I said. Manny Beard chuckled nervously, which still, even after all these months, freaks me out because that voice is far too deep for that string bean of a man. I don't know, probably not a great thing to say considering I'm a big dude with a voice that's higher. Let's try and focus fire more on things that the other person can control, okay? Gosh, I really did take that personally, didn't I? Anyways, OP asks, how you going? Good year? Mostly, yeah. Just been busy with state tests, he said. I nodded. Yeah, but your subject is done. But they still have me proctoring. I'm not great at it. I'm slow. It's not very efficient, Manny Beard said. I was taken aback by his flicker of self-awareness, but I also tried not to laugh at the phrasing. Well, to be fair, state tests are, by definition, pretty inefficient. Bureaucracy. True, but my subject is done, and so that's the most important thing, I guess, he said. I nodded. Yeah, so true, because I hadn't just said that. So, contracts went out today. You planning on sticking around next year? Mannybeard shrugged. I don't know. I'm flattered I got an offer, but I have some things I need to figure out in my life. Well, that's true. There's a lot going on, and I'm not sure I want to stay here. You're young. Fly the nest, little beardling. See what the world has to offer. That's what I say. I nodded. I signed mine straight away, but really you have to do what's best for you. Whatever that looks like. Yeah, I don't know, since there's just so much going on in my life right now, and I don't know if this is where I want to stay, he said again. He does repeat himself a lot. I just nodded, and we parted ways. I then watched for 10 minutes as Manny struggled to stand in the wind. I was legitimately scared for him. I thought that this wind might actually blow him away. Even I had to lean on a pole to hold myself steady, and I have way more muscle mass than Manny Beard. So, was this the beardiest Manny encounter? No, not really. However, since Manny is a fan favorite, I wanted to share what appears to be at least a little bit of personal growth. Manny is annoying, to be sure, but he seems to have become the beard that we're rooting for, not unlike Osgood. That's true, you saw me getting defensive of the little guy. I'm not sure if this is the last that we'll see of Manny Beard or not, but as long as he stops causing my husband extreme stress, I truly do wish him all the best. And to that, I'll go ahead and quote Epictetus, happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within your control, and some things are not. So don't get too invested in the situation. 2. Busted Beetle.
Oh, you've been smoking drugs again, haven't you?
What is drugs?
As I mentioned in the previous story, Beetle got hurt. Oh, that's right. Why did my brain go to like the being arrested busted? That's dumb. I wavered including this story, but truthfully, from the time he got hurt until the time I got him to the ER, there was such a comedy of incompetence that I felt like I kind of had to include it in this. This actually happened the day before the previous story. It was Thursday, and if you ask most teachers, they will tell you that Thursday is consistently the worst day of the week. I'm not sure why, but it seems to hold true. This Thursday was particularly bad. We were state testing, and that's never a good way to start the day. I was allowing my class to have a work day because progress reports were about to be submitted, and I was giving them every last chance to turn in their missing work. While my kids were working, I was updating the grade book when I got a text from my mom. I just got a call from Annie. She said your brother and a paramedic answered, and she heard him screaming in the background. The ambulance was taken to the ER because of severe abdominal pain. They're admitting him. Annie is my brother's friend. Swollen appendix? I bet it's a swollen appendix. Little appendicitis, right? We'll cut that little bastard out. You'll be right as rain. So, great. My brother was in the ER. I told Mom it would be hard to get out of work with state testing, but I would head to the hospital straight away after work. I was trying to focus on grading and not worrying when I got another text. This time from Beetle. Love, I just messed up my ankle by tripping on an extension cord. It hurts pretty bad. I'm used to twisting my ankle, but this feels like either pulled it really bad or it tore. It hurts a lot to walk, he said. I knew that if Beetle was having trouble walking, it was bad. He hurt himself playing hockey all the time and just shook it off, especially leg injuries. As a goalie, he was constantly hurting something. This is kismet. Now you get to go see your brother, right? Okay, not good. Did you text an AP? I asked. Not yet, he said. Okay, do that, I instructed. See, what I expected would happen is that an AP would go relieve him, he was proctoring a test, and then they'd have him fill out an accident report and then have the nurse figure out how bad it was. That is not remotely what happened. Beetle ended up texting 3 APs, Miss Dean, the nurse, and waited just over an hour to finally get someone to relieve him. Finally, Miss Dean came in with the nurse. The nurse brought a wheelchair and an ice pack and parked Beetle in the English workroom. Didn't check his ankle, didn't give him a report to fill out, nothing. Yeah, it's summertime almost, I don't care.
Yeah, bitch, screw it, summertime.
I had class, so there wasn't much I could do. When my lunch finally came around, I went to the workroom to check on him. I looked at his ankle, which was about twice as big as it should have been, and it was clear by looking at him that he was in tremendous pain. What did the nurse say? I asked. She didn't look at it, Beetle said. Okay. Are they sending you to a doctor? I asked. Beetle shrugged. They just parked me here. Maybe it's time to ask a few questions, huh? Did they give you a workman's comp report? I asked. Beetle shook his head. Bloody hell. I took a breath. I was not happy. So they just parked you here for the rest of the day? I guess, he replied. Just blown about by the winds of fate, no? Remember the thing that I just said, that Epictetus said? Some things are in your control. This is all so outside my frame of reference, man. I would never just be like, okay, bye, everybody. Do you need to go to the ER? I asked. Beetle nodded. Yeah, probably. I was pissed. Beetle was in too much pain to stand up for himself, but I wasn't just gonna let him sit there and suffer. I'll be back. I stormed off. I was headed downstairs when I saw number 1 headed up. Oh, good! Just who I was looking for. So, have you got the text about Beetle getting hurt? He nodded.
Yeah, how is he?
Not good. I need to take him to the ER. Now. I need coverage for my classes, I said.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, go talk to my assistant and cook. They can help. Let us know how he is,
number 1 said. Yeah, now everybody cares, right? Fuck out of here. I nodded and went down to the AP office. I asked the admin assistant to cover my 4th period class. Then I went to Cook's class and explained the situation to her. She said to put a sign on my door and that she'd take my 3rd when they came back from lunch. With that done, I found number 1 and the nurse and filled them in. I grabbed my stuff and went back to the workroom where the nurse was wheeling Beetle out. I grabbed his stuff and we headed for the elevator. On the way out of the school, Beetle finally spoke up. Do I need to file a report for a workman's comp or anything? He asked. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll take you to see Mr. Principal's assistant. She has that, the nurse said. I made a face. Really? We had to ask on the way out, 2 bloody hours later, to file a report? Holy fucking hell. We got the paperwork, and I took Beetle to the same ER that my brother was in. See? Convenient. It turned into a family hospital day. Yeah, it all works out in the end. It turned out that Beetle had a really bad sprain. He ended up with a lovely set of crutches and a brace. He decided to use my old wheelchair. I kept it from when I had cancer in my leg around campus. Our campus was too big, and his job required too much moving around for crutches to really be practical. Nah, bro, I'm going on the crutches every day until I got gorilla arms. That's all I want in life. The next day, Beetle stayed home to keep off his ankle and keep it iced. He also had some rather strong painkillers. Sweet. I turned in the workman's comp paperwork for him. Still pissed it took so bloody much to get him taken care of, but they were super quick to put into the system that I was using PTO for the hours that I took off. Yeah, no delay there. This level of incompetence was next level and made it super clear to me why we kept hiring beards. I mean, honestly, it only took me a couple parts. I got a pretty good sense for people, you know? We have one conversation, and either we won't get along, or you're gonna be my friend. I've made the decision before the conversation is even over. Story number 3, Math Beard crosses a line. Oh no. Oh, Math Beard. Some of her antics make me want to slam my head into a brick wall. Deep breath, man. You gotta flow a little easier, man. It was Beetle's first day back at work. It also happened to be Teacher Appreciation Week. What that means is they buy us lots of food because they appreciate us. And it is kind of nice. And I don't mean to be ungrateful, but it would be nicer to be appreciated all year round with decent pay that matches the cost of living in the area. But I digress. No, we don't have money for the pay. Remember the prom? That's where the pay raise went. I'm sorry. I don't mean for it to be this way. It was Beetle's first day back at work. And for Teacher Appreciation Week, they had the break room full of bagels and other breakfast treats. I left Beetle in his wheelchair in the mudroom while I went to go grab some breakfast for us. When I came back to the mudroom, Mathbeard was there, touching the handle of his chair. Oh no, please don't wheel disabled people around, okay?
I thought Manny just left you here. I was gonna help you to your room,
Mathbeard was saying as I walked in. I didn't bloody abandon my husband. I went to get us breakfast, and now we're going upstairs. Together! I snapped as I grabbed the handle of his chair from her. Bro, it is weird as hell. Mathbeard's taking a shine to Beetle. Yeah, I'm fine. Mandy's taking care of me, Beetle said, leaning away from Mathbeard as she was leaning down to him.
If you need anything, just let me know,
Mathbeard said. I glared. I'm fine. Love, if you could get the door, I could wheel myself to the lift, Beetle said, as he grabbed the wheels of his chair and started to move it away from her. I nodded and opened the door leading to the main hall.
Have a nice state testing day,
she called after us as we walked away. If that woman touches you or your chair again, I'm gonna deck her, I seethed as we got on the lift. Like I would abandon you in the mudroom. What the bloody fucking hell? Love, calm down. You've been taking great care of me. Just breathe, Beetle said as we arrived on the second floor and I headed to my cave to gather my things. I was being moved due to state testing and I wasn't happy about it. And I was hoping that that would be the last that I heard of Mathbeard for the day. No such luck. After school, the day Beetle rolled into my room and was waiting for me to wrap things up so we could go when his phone buzzed with a work email. He opened it to read it and I watched his face darken. Are you bloody serious right now? What the actual fuck? Beetle cried. What is it, love? I asked. Beetle started waving his phone around. This bloody gobshite! Mathbeard, I asked, already knowing the answer. She just sent me a parent email and copied me on it. It says, and I quote,
"Hi, parent. Would you please discuss with Luke what foods he's eating at lunch? I'm asking because he appears to have severe intestinal issues afterward in period 4, which is math class. Today I sent him 5 times to the restroom. He goes 4 more times per class period in my class. Often he'll need to go back to back twice. I don't ask a lot of questions when it comes to restroom breaks, but please inform the nurse if there's a true medical issue happening with him. I just think in sports or at a job, he might get negative
attention he doesn't want, so having the conversation at home might be best. Thank you, Mathbeard, Standard High School. Yes, hello, parent. I would like to discuss Luke's irritable bowel syndrome. Maybe he's just smoking in the boys' room, you know? Smoking in the boys' room. I looked at him and I blinked. She's concerned about his restroom habits. I can't with this woman. It's ridiculous. This is the second dumbass email today. Earlier, she told me to write an English goal for one of her kids. I write math goals for mine all the bloody time, and she didn't even ask. Again, she told me to. Enough is enough. I feel like I should go talk to Missy, Beetle said. I mean, I would advise you to go and talk to the person who is the root of your problem, but we saw how that went with Manny Beard, I guess. I nodded. If that's what your gut's telling you to do, then do it. Go down now. See if she's there. I'll wrap up here and meet you downstairs. Beetle nodded and headed out. He did find Missy, and they had a talk. Missy was just as dumbfounded as Beetle about that parent email, and she also confirmed that it was not Beetle's job to write an English goal for Mathbeard's student. Missy also told Beetle that he's not the first to come to her about Mathbeard's emails, and that she would have a talk with her. Missy also told Beetle that Mathbeard filled out a questionnaire about a student the other day for the diagnostician, and her concern about the student was that, quote-unquote, her makeup keeps getting darker and darker. Yeah, because she doesn't want to be some stupid prep. Don't you get it, Mathbeard? My immortal's coming tomorrow. The finale. Because yes, that's definitely something that the diagnostician should be concerned with. On a side note, she happened to be wearing a very Christian shirt to work that day, which is fine outside work, but I would never wear a pagan shirt to work. I don't even wear my Buy Pride flag shirt to work. Wait, you guys get shirts? Kinda seems like a weird dilemma to have, but I'm gonna let you hash this one out. It's just not professional to broadcast your religion or politics at work. Anytime you broadcast something like that, you risk alienating students that aren't part of that group and making them feel like they can't come to you. Besides, again, it's just unprofessional. Why do you guys even have these shirts? Why are you sorting yourselves into little boxes? I want you to know who I am as a person just by looking at my shirt. Like, bro, what level of ego does it take? Shoo, so anyway, does any of that mean that Mathbeard's not getting her contract renewed? Nope. Teacher shortage, and sped teachers especially. She will be back next year, continuing to make Beetle's life miserable, which I will continue to mock her for, as long as she stops flirting with him in the process. Otherwise, I may forget how much of a professional I am. Make it happen. Out by her car, lead pipe, ski mask. Problem solved. And no, I'm not threatened by her at all. I do find it very disrespectful for her to blatantly show interest in him in front of me. It's that lack of respect that pisses me off. I believe in the American South, the words to say to her would be, bless her heart. Maybe she really does think she's being sly. Anyways, with that, we have finished another chapter of Beard School. As of this writing, there are 21 days until summer. Hey, including weekends. I'm sure over the next 21 days, I will have at least one more story to share, so stay tuned. I do want to thank you for continuing to come along on this journey with me. ReddX said in a previous episode that he was proud of this series, and honestly, so am I. I've turned a frustrating situation into something that entertains people, and I'm very proud of that. But most of the credit for that goes to ReddX. Oh, thank you so much. He has brought life to these stories, and I can't thank him enough. You're awesome, mate. Beetle and I both simply adore you, not just as an amazing YouTube personality, but as a person. It's a fairly grand statement, you know? I don't even know myself as a person. But yeah, you like what you see, and that's great. Not that he isn't a great YouTube personality that you should absolutely subscribe to, and also ring the bell and like the video, please, thanks. Also, leave a comment, even a trolly one, because engagement. That's true. That's why I say wrong things in videos sometimes. You think I really care about pit bulls? No, I don't. But if I say, I hate pit bulls, suddenly the comments are like 30% more. It's amazing. attack backpacks, cutting boards, Funko Pops. The comments get a boost from all of that. I've got a master plan. You're all a part of it. Anyways, if you're feeling really extra like me, then you could join his Patreon or become a channel member. You know, all the things. Until the next time. Well, that's a great segue into the patron song. Let's go ahead and do that right now. No bells, no whistles, just quote-unquote musical cringe. The patrons are here, and the members too. It's so good to see every one of you. There's Destiny Rose, the Fez Wearer too, Justin Carlisle, Napalm Novocaine, and Sneaky Sammy, yes. Phantom 131, Valley-eyed Crane, Quack Quack Bang, and Whimsy Cuddle Squid, Vladimir Dragonoff, Babsy Coon VA, Press X2, Dow, Chains of Time Web, Ginger Arthur Morgan, Edward Polk, Gamers Folly, Robert Thibodeau, Jacqueline Schindler, Shy Dolphin Lady, and Bedazzled Ms. Jerry the Barber, inciting a riot, Sean Cantwell, Chronic Chef, Tusky Gibbous Usagi, Zachary Roseman, Ghost Raven, Tally Marks, and Squirrel Dad. Bearded Snake is here. I looped the whole song because John Indoors wanted it to be long. Dawnbreaker Drake, Project Duke 302, Sam Meyer Scuds, Joanna Ross, Fire Drake, just video watching. Selling 666, Sam Not Wise, Origami Steve, Train Boy Shiza, Angel Dark, Heaven Sent 77, Grimstripe 2, Plushy Florentic Waver, Dungeon Bat, Billy D, Brandon Ashcraft, Phantom Danica, Skylar Morningstar, the Gypsy Barber, Death's Black Jap is the last member here. To Patreon we go for Boulder Punch and Jerry, Miss Black, Harley, Hoen, Robert, Allen, Waits, Camille, Sarah. Fluxer says that Alzheimer's is dangerous. You should all be aware. If this continues on, I won't have any hair. Yeah, Meth Forbidden One, Origami Steve again, Santa Jerry, the true Fusky Vertical Loop, the original Jerry, there he is, Safa Barker, Jerish Kitsune, Jeanette 606, and Frankenberry. Ain't that a hiding bitch? She's really hiding though. Assassin Pug Jerry, Asterix the Kobold, Billy D, Blade the Hero, Commander J Tank, Dirty Little Jerry, Dr. Larks. Dude, you're getting a Legbeard. I don't want it, please send her home. Epoxy, Aaron Era, Espars 50/50, Heathcliff HMO Mayor, Leeches be complaining. Yeah, they do. Oh, and India is back with the loop. And Irish Pirate is back with the poop. Iron Hollow's the Iron Jerry. He's super hard. That's kind of gross. So we're moving on. Irradiated Jam. J.M. Coon. Jerry Blacktail. Joe Guzman. Juicy Lucy. And the adventures of Daddy Saggy. Saggy Baggy. Jukebox Jerry. Cat Car. Cat Lady. Italian Greyhound Dino. Lady Nix and Lauren Crow and Legitimate Girth, Legitimately Girthy, Livy O'Brien, Lord Jerry-O. Luca was a race car driver, yes. Like and subscribe to ReddX, Mad Monk Mel, Garvey, Destroyer, Metal, Fector, Needless King, 9 Cat Raptors, Regicide, Jerrykins and Jerry Beth, Ravencraft Helmodius, Sarita the Lolita, Sergeant Gay Cop, Happy Pride Month, Silo Imp, Spinal number 21, we'll break them all, Stephanie Goodner, Storm Jerry, Synaptic, Boomstick, Taco, Mao, Ba-bum, Littlest Hoo-Hoo, trying to find another marble, VC3, Viking Jerry, Vladimir Dragonoff, Volks Wiki-Tech, Zachary Rossman, he's back again, Publius, not another Jerry, Cage Alex 9, Bad Penny Lane, Captain Clown Jerry, Carcass the Hurt Stuff, Venom Jerry, that is Farnham 2, Jace Christensen is here, and a normal Jerry Rears, Emery Alder, Big Dad Wolf, Broken Spine, Host Radishka Aguilar, Cake Jerry is on the loop. He's the original different Jerry. And if you didn't know that, it would be kind of scary. California Jerry Girl, Candy Sora returns, Chikara the Panda, Corey Holiday, and there's some big cryptides. Dark Wolf 76, Defon Jerry, Deku Delta Grex, Jerry Boo's daughter, Ghost of Alpha, Greymon 365, half Slavic Jerry in a tracksuit. He cannot. Janitor Jerry, Jerry Butt with 2 S's and an E, Jerry Springer, the results are in, and you are not a neckbeard bro. Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry's mom's got it going on. Jerry Roxers, Mary and Peg, maybe next time Midnight Moonflower. Mr. Gas Mask. Oh yes, he's here. We're approaching the end. You're excited? Well, me too. 'Cause I'm getting sort of exhausted. Not Invisible Angel and Raptor Art 2. Scott Corsat Snary, that's Nom Jerry, if you didn't know. Spoony the Rogue, Spoopy Scary Jerry Ton, the Gypsy Barber, he's here. They call me Jerry, 2 knives. This is purely a mercantile transaction. To Infinite Jerry and beyond, Tokyo Bird, and there's Trickster, Uncale Vaughn, weary bot whimsy, throws 2 liter Mountain Dew, grow my neck beard grow. It's Jerry time again. Hold ReddX more for high. Summon the power of humility to fight back the neckbeard hordes. Thank you to my $1 patrons as well. That's literally the end of the loops that I made. That's great. What great timing. You guys are all MVPs. I just want you to know. All right? Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you to all of them. I know it's been a while since the last list, but it is such a big list. Maybe I could just do like a randomizer. 5 random names at the end of every video. Would that be good? Or would that be shit? I'm not really sure. Again, comments. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much. For everybody who supported, liked, comment, shared, all the things, followed me on social media, especially. Yes, we're cross-platform now. You could join up with the beautiful patrons or channel members, or you could leave a super thanks on this video. $1 is like 3-4 mine, so I don't know, extrapolate that if you want. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me regardless. Please remember to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, and of course, join us for the next one. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.